Welcome, welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Happy Monday. And it is a Monday.
She's having a real Monday this week.
I'm having a Monday.
It's fine.
It'll all be fine.
It'll be okay. Oh my gosh.
All right. I love how the first couple seconds, just because no one's on, we're always like adjusting and like, okay, let's just figure out if everything's...
We're going three
three
cameras
screens
today, so we feel really dramatic, which is fine.
Keep floating in and out of this one.
It's all right.
That's okay. Alrighty. So we'll just wait a couple more minutes, I suppose.
Yeah. So what else?
Literally what else?
That's always our line.
Oh my gosh,
in the back room, it's always like, so what else?
So Salon U has an entirely different language than I'm pretty sure any other person or group of people on this planet. And what else is our like go-to if it's like really quiet, no one knows what to say. We'll just be like, so what else?
So what else?
Tell us a story.
and then usually we just laugh and don't even say anything.
Yeah, and then we just go back to being on our phones and
pretty much. No, yeah, we have a lot of Salon U lingo that is kind of embarrassing.
It is embarrassing, actually. All I can think of right now is like totes, but I feel like that's pretty across the board. Everyone's saying that right now.
Like clunk.
Oh yeah.
And Mary. Everyone is Mary. It's not like hey you. It's like Mary.
Yes, totally.
You can thank one of our bosses for that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was definitely his doing.
Yeah.
Clunk is a little bit more complicating. I've tried to explain clunk to people, and they're like, I don't know what you're saying. So.
It's just like if something like stupid happens or like annoying, like you just are like, oh, that's a clunk, like.
Or you're like, clunk.
Right. Or you just don't know what else to say, and you just say clunk. It's
yes.
fine. It's a good filler word. It's fine.
Oh, it's like a filler phrase, I'd like to say.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So today we are going to talk about blow drying.
Tips to get a good blow dry.
Yes, tips to get a good blow dry.
Or at least tips to help you learn to blow dry.
Because people struggle with it at home.
Yeah,
people struggle with it.
It's probably one of the like questions/topics we get the most questions about.
Yeah.
Just how do you do that? Don't your arms get tired? Like all the things.
These tips are just for you to use at home. Obviously, it's very different when we're like standing on top of your head and we have a lot more range of motion than you will. So these are just for you. Dun, 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 dun.
Ooh,
okay,
that was fun.
That was fun. It's a Monday, people. Let's just roll with it. So for the first one, towel dry really well, and then we always like to say rough dry 90%. So you're just going to blast your hair with the blow dryer, but always have a nozzle on because Jacqueline's head will explode if you don't.
We'll do a slight reenactment.
Let's reenact that.
So I have my blow dryer. And when you're rough drying, you have the nozzle on, always the nozzle. Thank you. And you're just blow drying. You're just getting the moisture out. It's just quick. You're not like your arms aren't getting tired. You're just going all over the place.
I like to tip my head upside down because that's going to give you like the most volume too. And you really want to make sure that your root is like completely dry too. So getting in there and so drying 90% before you stick any sort of brush in there.
Yeah.
Like a flat brush or a round brush or whatever you're doing.
When you're rough drying, you're like she said, you're definitely focusing on getting the roots dry. Another tip, like if your hair grows towards your face and your hair is always in your face, or maybe you have the opposite problem and your hair grows away, you want to dry it in the opposite direction. So like mine always goes in my face, so I always dry my hair back.
And mine just doesn't do anything, so I blow dry mine upside down so I can get the maximum amount of volume.
There you have it.
Because
Okay.
contrary to popular belief, my hair is actually, I wouldn't say my hair is thin, but I definitely don't have a lot of hair. So.
Well, we're working on that.
I know, because now I'm going to get extensions.
She's going to get some fake hair.
Oh my gosh, next time we do the sit and sip, I'm going to have mermaid hair, and you guys are going to be so impressed. It's going to be amazing.
I'm excited.
It's going to be a lot. It'll be fine. So
okay,
that kind of rolls us into our next tip, is when you're round brushing, you want to use it as a styling tool, not a drying tool. So, like we said, rough drying 90%, and then you get your round brush in there to just smooth the cuticle down, not to dry the hair or help dry the hair, because it's not helping. Yeah. Just making your arms tired.
Yeah, just for styling. And that kind of takes us into the next point, is work in sections. So you want to, whether you're clipping up, and leaving down this bottom half and working with, obviously my hair is short, I would do more than this, but if your hair is super thick, you want to make sure you're sectioning, clip it up, and then take your round brush into it, because that's only going to make it easier for you.
Yes.
Because if you try to take all of your hair in one, it ain't gonna work, sister friend.
Every time I think about sectioning, my instructor in beauty school always used to say, section for control, and that makes so much sense, and that's always stuck with me, because if you're just trying to get in there with a brush, you really don't have control of what's going on. So by sectioning, you can really target those areas, and you're sectioning with control. Thanks, Miss Haley. You're the best.
And the sections make it so you're just concentrating on that at a time. So you're going section by section. Don't worry about the whole head. Just focus on what you're doing in that piece, and it'll help.
Yes.
Okay. So kind of backtracking a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
It's fine. So when your hair is wet, you've gotten out of the shower, you've washed your hair, blah, blah, blah. You're putting in product. Always follow the directions to, how it says to apply it. So if you're doing a mousse, make sure you're getting it up at the root and you're not just putting it in at the ends where
slapping it on the ends.
Put it in according to the directions, and then use a wide tooth comb to comb it through if you can.
Yeah. That was a good tip. Good job. And that's it.
All.
And moving on. So just piggybacking on the product situation, you always need to... I actually got that from your blog post today. Okay.
Get it together, folks.
Anyways, so you need to use a heat protectant, because the blow dryer is just as damaging as any other heat styling tool.
Especially
without the nozzle.
Especially.
So it's super important. A lot of girls only put a heat protectant on that you can only put on with when your hair is dry, and then they start curling their hair, flat ironing, or whatever you're doing. But like I said, the blow dryer is just as damaging, so you really want to make sure that you're protecting those ends, even if you're just rough drying or round brushing, whatever it may be. That's super important. Did we talk about the tangling thing yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
So, if your hair just is one of those where you wash it, and as soon as it gets wet, it just tangles and becomes a clump, then you can either use something like a wet brush or a tangle teaser to drama to comb through it while it's wet. You only want to use a wet brush or something specifically meant for combing wet hair, because otherwise a regular paddle brush or whatever, it could rip and break your hair. We don't want breakage.
So actually with a wet brush or this little tangle teaser thing, these bristles, they bend and they move. So unlike other brushes, let's say this one, these are harder brushes. They're not going to bend with the hair as easily, but these are a lot softer. So when they hit a tangle, they glide over them instead of getting stuck and then ripping the hair out.
Yeah. Ooh, there's that light.
Oh, yes, with the light.
Yes. Because when your hair is wet, it's at its most elastic state. So if you're just yanking through it, and
your hair's just gonna stretch and break.
I've seen it, and it makes me want to cry.
I know.
It's okay though. We're teaching. Okay, so either use one of those brushes, or you can start rough drying, and that will help seal and smooth your cuticle, which in turn will help it kind of untangle on its own.
Yeah. So, like she was saying, if your hair is when it gets wet, it's instantly tangled. If you just start blow drying, those tangles are going to fall out naturally, and then you'll have an easier time brushing through. I know a lot of my girls, they have thick hair, and even if your hair gets tangled, why are you laughing?
Because I hadn't really looked at your camera, and then I did.
Even if your hair gets tangly all the time, it doesn't always mean that it's damaged. It's just the texture of your hair. So finer texture hair gets tangled easier. It gets wrapped around itself. So blow dry your hair before you try to brush it out.
She's like, where am I going?
Yeah.
You landed. You landed the plane.
I landed the plane.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I think we just.
Oh my gosh! Did we fly through it all so quick? Oh my gosh! Wow.
All right.
Well, what else?
What? What else? What else? Can you think of any other tips? Because we just flew through that.
I was going to talk about these magic gems.
Ooh.
So you've blown out your hair, you're feeling good. Then comes day 2. So instead of like going back through, you can always touch up, like hit it with the blow dryer again the second day to, reactivate some of that volume. Or you can use some Velcro rollers. These are only used on dry hair. Don't get it twisted. Don't put these in wet hair. It's not a good idea. But you can just like maybe even focus on this mohawk section and roll a couple going back. And that, and then do your makeup, eat breakfast, let them sit for a couple minutes. And then you take those rollers out and you'll just have a nice, pretty, like blown out look.
Yes.
So it's easy.
Also a tip for round brushing, when you're doing the top mohawk section, if you take this front section and you want to pull it away and up from your face, that's going to give you that like swoop that you're looking for, and it just helps.
Well, yeah, because especially if you have bangs, a lot of people want to go like this.
And even like even this would be considered a bang just because it's a shorter piece. So I would like pull it up just like Jacqueline is doing.
So you would go back.
So you're going back instead of pulling it down. If that makes any sense at all.
No.
Yes.
Got it, folks? Good. Ooh, hot.
I know, it's a little toasty in here today.
It's hot in this humble abode. All right. Well,
it looks like,
unless you guys have any questions for us, I don't know.
I think that's it. I think that's all we
that's all we have for you.
That's all we have.
But yep, every other Monday, and always ask us questions.
Yep.
In case
you wanted to know something.
In case we can't think of any.
Yeah, because clearly that's happening to us right now. I mean, I feel like a blow dry segment, it was going to be short-lived anyways, because, like, how much can you really talk about blow drying, honestly? So, as always, if there's something that you want to hear, or if you're curious about, DM us, or, if you see us in the salon, don't be afraid to ask, and we'll love to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
And if you've missed any past episodes, we've put them on our YouTube. So I think they're linked in both of our Instagrams. Well, mine kind of isn't working right now, but I'm going to figure it out and it'll be fine. So go to Jacqueline's if you missed any, because mine, I literally just figured out a couple days ago that it wasn't working this whole entire time. So technology has never been an easy thing for me, but we're learning. I feel like you've mastered it. No, oh my God.
She's really good at it. But I also do post them on my Facebook too, and I just post them as a video so they never expire, so you can always go back and look at my videos, and those are always up and ready to watch. Cool. And then we'll cycle this, of course, through 24 hours in case you missed it as well.
Yeah.
All right, gals and maybe gents, have a great Monday, and we will see you next time.
Bye.